Welcome into this week's edition of the Recruiting Roundup. That's Scout.com's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. We bring the latest in Arizona high school football recruiting year-round. This week, we're at ASU's Passing League Tournament. A lot of great talent. Jason and I are out to check out this week. But let's start off, Jason. Big news. Christian Kirk announces his top 10. Your reaction to the schools on the list?
Yeah, he narrowed it down to 10 from 37, which is ridiculous in itself. But none of the schools really surprised me. There's a bunch of schools in the Pac-12, handful of schools in the Big Ten, and then some SEC schools sprinkled in there as well. He took a trip to and toured the East Coast, saw Georgia, went and saw Ohio State, seen a lot of these schools already. So the schools that were in the mix didn't really surprise me. He'd gone out and seen a handful of those schools already.
Some of the schools, though, that stand out, Texas A&M, Kyle Allen's already there. Schools on the Pac-12 level that we've seen Arizona players leave for, like the USCs and the UCLAs. Are you surprised that some of these schools are in the mix, and do some stand out a little bit more than the others?
Yeah, just talking about schools I think stand out. I think he really likes Stanford. There's going to be an issue, though, if he can enroll earlier or not there, because that's what he wants to do. But Stanford doesn't take early enrollees. Texas A&M has been a long-time school that I think is going to be in the mix. And USC surprised me a little bit. I think that they are what they've done with their wide receivers over the last few years. Had several freshman All-Americans. Kirk told me that's one of his goals, to eventually be a freshman All-American. So, the Trojans being in there surprised me. But after talking to him, it totally made sense.
That's Christian Kirk's latest. Now let's talk about a player that started just about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, with 0 offers, now has 11. Mountain Point's Nick Carmen had an unbelievable spring evaluation period.
Yeah, now he has 11 offers. Maybe he catches up to Christian Kirk and gets 37. But just a month ago he had no offers. His most recent offer was from Wyoming. He is now starting to get the attention from some of the FBS schools, Utah State and UNLV, most recently with that Wyoming offer. The reason that he started to heat up really is because he's changed his body. He's 6'4" and he's gained 40 pounds. He weighs 265 pounds, already an athletic left tackle. But what he's been able to do now, bulk up, and shows that he has a frame to be 300 pounds. That's the reason he's getting recruited right now.
Jason, there's been a lot of schools that recruited really heavily throughout a lot of offers to Arizona's finest over the last few weeks of spring eval period. We're going to go through some of these schools. The first one I want to mention, UNLV. Some of these schools giving players their first offers as well. The Rebels were one of those schools.
Yeah, they offered some kids and gave them their first offer. So Kenny Owens, a sleeper wide receiver out at Williamsfield. Coach Campbell's really high on him because he runs a 10-800 meters. And he plays 3 sports, so he thinks he's really, really raw. Coach Campbell knows his talent. He played here at Arizona State, so he knows what he's talking about. Another guy, I really like Dalton Sneed. I think he's this year's Luke Rubenzer, the quarterback at Horizon. Got that first offer from UNLV, is going to go out and visit them unofficially as well. I really like what he brings to the table. Fiery competitor, put up great stats last year under Coach Heavner. Then Cameron Johnson, the running back out of Tempe, offered by the Rebels. He also has offers from Montana and from South Dakota State. And then we already talked about that they had offered the big tackle Nick Carmen out at Mountain Point.
Another school, Jason, NAU. They have done a fantastic job recruiting in state, especially with this last class that they just pulled in 2014, and they've gotten in the mix with some of the best of the 2015 class as well.
So they identified some kids really early that have started to blow up. You look at Carmen, you look at Matt Pistone at Yuma Catholic, guys that are probably out of their reach right now, but they saw them early and extended offers. 2 guys I liked a lot in spring evaluation period were at Boulder Creek. They offered both of them. Nathan Eldridge, a guy that's played defensive line, but I think he's going to be a guard at the next level, was offered by NAU. And then Ryan Parento, the big hitting safety, got an offer from NAU. Montana,
another school that has done the same as these 2 schools that we've already mentioned.
Yeah, they've shown that they want to recruit Arizona heavily. They're serious about it. They sent 2 coaches down here during spring eval period to recruit the area. Austin Williams out of Basha, he plays safety and corner, was offered by them.
Yeah, so Montana trying to go toe for toe with their rival NAU and bringing in this Arizona talent. The last school, Jason, I want to mention, South Dakota State.
Yeah, they also offered Austin Williams. They've been in on quite a few kids. They've done, the Jackrabbits have done a good job recruiting here. They were the first offer 2016 prospect, Jacob Brown, out of Paradise Valley. His brother Jordan signed with them last year, and they also were the first school to offer Zach Kompenstein at Paradise Valley as well. He's a guy that's played slot receiver, but I project him as an outside linebacker at the next level.
And the last offer that we want to bring for this episode of the Roundup, Jason, Sean Paul Brophy, the quarterback. We've seen him out at Chaparral for the last 2 years. His first full year as a starter last year, picks up his very first offer.
Yeah, a Big Sky offer from Weber State, and Weber State's coming in here trying to offer some of the guys, locally, trying to get back in here because they've typically recruited here heavily. They also offered Nick Carmen, but great offer for Sean Paul that he got that first one under his belt. He's had a great offseason from what I hear, and we'll see if he gets some more offers later on.
That's why we we mentioned Nick Carmen at the top, the end of every sentence that we can have is they also offered Nick Carmen, and that's all in the past few weeks. That's it for this week's edition of the Roundup. That's Jason Jewell. I'm Jared Cohen. This has been the Recruiting Roundup on Sports360AZ.com.